Welcome to Dead Giveaway. I'm Billy.
And I'm Carly.
This is a two-part podcast. In episode 1, I will tell a true story, but change the names and locations to try and see if my true crime-obsessed wife can discover the truth.
In part 2, Billy reveals the answers, and we will discuss the details of the case. Will I get it wrong, or will it be a dead giveaway?
Hello.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien.
Mi nombre es Guillermo Chico.
¿Dónde está el baño?
¿Dónde está casa de Pepe?
Okay, anyways.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Yes.
Hope you're having a wonderful Monday.
Happy you're listening.
Yep. It's a beautiful day.
It is, yes.
And so, yeah.
Okay. Well,
What?
I'm so, my brain is not working right now.
Oh, as opposed to any other day?
I know.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
This is a chronological saga of my wife's slow progression into her episode of Snapped.
Yes, it is. It'll be a hit because it's like a true crime podcaster loses it on her husband.
Oh my
His
gosh.
body was never found.
How crazy would a podcast be of that? Like, it kept recording.
Oh yeah, that would
and
be
they caught
creepy.
the whole thing, and then they release it. Ooh!
Don't give anybody any bad ideas.
No, I want to write a script for that. We can make a movie.
It could be like that.
That'd be a really good one.
What's that thing where it was like the alien broadcast that people tuned into?
War of the Worlds.
Yeah, and they thought it was real, so they started freaking out because they didn't hear the very beginning where it said
Right. They
this
thought
is
it was a
just
live broadcast.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That'd be it.
That would be funny. Anyways.
Might have to change the dynamic of our show.
Oh, no thanks. We're not that good of actors.
I'll just be like Kenny and just die every episode.
Oh, okay. Hang on. I like this idea. I've got lots of ideas.
Oh, that's comforting.
I'll be back. I got to go.
Found your list.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, well, if you can find it, then the cops surely would. So good.
Yeah. You're not as sneaky as you think you are.
Okay. Anyways. We actually do like each other. Most days.
All right. Well, if you're still listening, we're going to get into this now.
Yeah. Sorry.
We're done with that little diatribe. All right.
Go for it. Knock my socks off.
No, you've been working in the yard and you're stinky.
Oh. True.
At around 7:30 in the morning, a routine patrol turned into something else. Evan Cross, a private security guard, was doing his normal loop through a developing area on the outskirts of Riverton, Florida, an area locals called The Ridge. It was one of those half-finished neighborhoods that you see kind of all over booming areas. It's just dirt roads, empty lots, wooden framed of houses that just hadn't been finished and built out yet. And right now, at this time of morning, no workers are there. Okay. So it's too early for that. There's no traffic, and it's just quiet. And that's what made the car that Evan found stand out. It was parked at the very end of the cul-de-sac, right where the road just stops and turns into brush, a little green belt. Seeing a car out there at night wouldn't be unusual, but at that time of the morning, it felt off.
Yeah.
So Evan slowed down, and as he got closer, he noticed the passenger door was wide open.
Wait, he's not a police officer, he's a security officer?
He's a security guard, and he sees that there's no damage, nothing looks like it was forced open, the door is just left ajar. So he stops his truck and he sits there for a second, just watching. He's looking around the empty lots, looking in the brush, doesn't see anybody, and he's just waiting to see if there's somebody either in the car or around the car, but nobody shows up.
Maybe they had to run to the bushes to go to the bathroom or something.
Maybe so. When he got out and walked up to the car, that's when things got stranger. Inside, sitting in plain view, were a wallet, a purse, and nothing looked like it had been taken. Nothing looked tossed around. Nothing in the car looked like it had been gone through. And then he noticed that there was a smear of dried blood along the inside of the door handle.
Oh, that's not good.
That's when he backs off and he decides he's gonna call it in.
Smart.
Within minutes, patrol units show up and they lock the area down. And what started as an abandoned car pretty quickly turns into something very, very serious. Because once officers stepped off the road and into the brush, they started seeing signs that whatever happened didn't just stay at the car. There was a path of broken grass, bent stems, broken tree branches, a very clear disturbance leading into the woods.
Ooh,
and
struggle.
They continued to follow it. They did not have to go far, because about 150 yards in, they found their first victim.
First?
A young man sitting upright against a tree. And that's the detail that stuck with investigators. He wasn't slumped over. He hadn't collapsed where he fell. He was positioned there with his hands secured behind his back.
Oof.
The bindings were extremely tight, pulled enough to keep him completely restrained. His throat had been cut. And based on the injury, this wasn't quick. This wasn't someone lashing out at once and running away.
Yeah.
This was a very controlled and up close and very personal attack.
Yeah.
And judging by the wound, police think that it took some time.
Oof.
But what really changed the tone of the scene is what comes next. As investigators looked around, they started noticing items on the ground that didn't belong. A tube of paint, then a brush, then another, a palette knife, a sketch pad. At first, it looked random, but as they followed this trail, it definitely wasn't.
That's so weird. Art supplies?
The items were spaced out in a line leading away from the first victim, going deeper into the woods. They were not scattered. They were placed consistently spaced apart, going in the same direction.
Oh, like on purpose, like a trail.
It didn't immediately make sense until they got to the end of the art supplies.
Yeah.
That's when they found the second victim. A young woman was found beneath a stack of construction boards taken from the nearby site. When officers moved them, they found her bound and clearly assaulted before being killed in the same way as the first victim. The fact that the bodies were separated stood out right away.
Yeah.
This wasn't chaotic. It wasn't something that happened all at once. There were decisions being made. And then there was one detail investigators couldn't explain. Next to her hand was a single paintbrush, clean, unused, and just placed there.
Weird.
At that point, this stopped looking like a random attack and it started looking like something that had been put together.
Yeah, for sure.
So let me ask you this. You've got the path, the placement, the brush, all of it. Does that feel like someone trying to send a message or just someone taking their time in a very unsettling way?
That maybe they think it's like a game, but I think it's weird that he was tied to a tree in the open like that. But then she had a trail leading to her, but then he or she covered up her body with the poster boards. Like, that's odd to me. Like, why lead a trail to her and then hide her?
Right.
Yeah, that's very strange. Did you say what her cause of death was?
She was murdered in the same way.
Oh, okay.
So they were both bound.
Okay.
And he was propped up against the tree. His hands were bound, but he was propped up.
Oh, I don't know why I was thinking like
bound.
his hands were like wrapped around the tree.
No,
okay.
She was bound.
But he was
and
propped
then,
up against the tree and
yes.
she was underneath the stuff. Okay.
Underneath the construction boards, yeah. So when investigators went back to the car, things didn't line up. The scene in the woods suggested control, time, and movement, but the car didn't show any of that. There was no broken glass, no forced entry, no sign of a struggle inside whatsoever. The passenger door was still open. Sorry, it was the passenger's door, not the driver's door.
Okay.
Correct myself. Just like the guard had found it. Sorry, the car was just like the guard had found it. Inside, there were only two signs something had happened: a smear of blood on the door handle and a floor mat that had been pushed out of place. That was it. And the belongings were still there, the wallet, purse, all of it untouched, and nothing rummaged through the glove compartment. Nothing was taken out of the car. That created a real problem for investigators because it wasn't a robbery if nothing had been taken.
Right.
And if it was an attack, there should have been some kind of fight somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere through the woods, in the car, somewhere there would be visible signs of this, and there would be defensive wounds, which there weren't. So here's the question. Why would two people alone in a secluded area get out of their car and walk into the woods without putting up a fight? Yeah. What would make you do that?
Yeah. It's got to be either somebody that they knew or the first thought that popped into my head when you were just talking about the car area is like some kind of weird, like Facebook Marketplace bad meetup or something, like, you know what I mean?
Exactly,
Like
yeah.
you went to go meet somebody to buy something and it turned out to be something horrible.
Yeah, never go by yourself.
Yeah, no.
Or in this case, go in
they
threes.
weren't. Yeah.
Exactly. So one of the first people investigators looked at was the man who found the car, obviously Evan Cross.
Sure, yeah.
Not because he did anything wrong initially, but because of what came up afterward.
Oh.
When detectives searched his patrol vehicle, they found a spool of nylon rope in the trunk. It looked similar to what had been used at the scene. Now, to be fair, that kind of rope isn't rare. It's something that's mass-produced. You can get it at any hardware store. It's very common for security and construction work. You know, he's a security guard.
Sure.
He's got handcuffs, but he's also got zip ties, other stuff in his truck that he
I can
might
imagine
need.
a security officer would need to tie somebody up, though.
I mean, if you have to apprehend somebody and wait for police to get there, yeah.
That's true. I mean, we're in Texas. You just hog tie them.
Yeah, exactly. And so again, this neighborhood that's up and coming, let me just explain why they have a security guard.
Okay.
Is it's a little bit more affluent. It's going to be a gated community. They want to make sure that houses that are finished out, people feel safe. You know, there will be a gate guard, etc. So that's why.
Okay.
That's
I was going to
going
ask
on.
what he was guarding because you said he was a security guard, and I was like, guarding what?
Right.
Okay.
So it's kind of like neighborhoods that we
Just
have out
making
here
sure
that are
that
gated.
people aren't vandalizing,
Exactly. Right.
stuff like that. Okay.
Which is why they thought it was strange that this car was here.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
Right. And that's why that immediately stood out.
Okay.
So then they start looking at his activity that night, and they found a gap of about 90 minutes where he had no radio contact, no logged calls, nothing being recorded. When they asked him about it, he said that he was following up on a lead near the outer part of the property, but there was no record of that lead coming in from anywhere. Nobody else on
A lead is in like somebody called and said,
I guess, hey,
saw
there was
somebody
something
messing
over
around.
here.
Okay.
And so my understanding is that this is on the other end of where the neighborhood
car.
is.
Okay.
And then there was one more connection. Cross had been to a local recreational facility where the male victim worked, and there had been a minor disagreement between them a few weeks earlier.
Oh.
Nothing major, but it was enough that the investigators took note of this.
Yeah, just the fact that they knew each other
Right.
or had been in contact with each other at all.
Individually, none of that proved anything, but together, it was enough that they made him a person of interest and
Right.
just wanted to keep him on the radar.
Sure.
So you've got somebody who finds the scene, has access to similar materials, and there's a gap in their timeline.
Right.
I mean, do you think that's just coincidence, or does that start to feel like more than that?
No, yeah, for sure. I definitely top of the list for me.
So you don't think it could be coincidental?
I mean, it could be, but it's not very likely.
So as investigators dug deeper, another angle started to develop, one based on motive. A few months earlier, a woman had survived an assault in the same general area. When they brought her in, she revealed something interesting. She had recently been fired by the male victim's father.
Oh.
According to her, it wasn't a clean break. It was extremely personal, and it left her in a very difficult position. That gave investigators a new theory. Was this retaliation, a way to go after the family through the son?
Yeah.
Or was it something more organized, someone else carrying out the act tied to that conflict? It was the first explanation that actually gave the case a motive, but it still didn't explain everything.
I have questions.
Yeah.
Okay, you said she was assaulted, but not that had nothing to do with it. Just because she was assaulted, she was talking to the police and mentioned that she had.
When they were looking at people related to or in the vicinity of this man and this woman,
Okay.
they found
That she had recently been
Yes.
assaulted and also used to work for his dad.
and the
Okay.
reason that stood out is because it was in the same area.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so they're thinking there
Also
was an assault
another
here.
weird coincidence.
This is a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
So there's by 6 degrees of separation. They're
Sure.
going, this is very strange.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They have again a connection to the victim and the assault that was in that general area.
Right.
Okay.
Because if this was revenge, why go through all of that effort to stage the scene? Why
Right.
separate them? Why leave something behind? That doesn't feel emotional. That feels like it was previously planned,
Yeah.
right? That feels like something thought out and premeditated versus just a spontaneous, crime of opportunity.
Sure.
So as investigators started piecing together the victim's final hours, another name came up one that didn't fit the earlier theories but was hard to ignore.
Okay.
A local artist named Caleb Mercer.
Oh, an artist?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Caleb wasn't a stranger to the victims. He had crossed paths with them just hours before the murders at a small gallery event in Riverton. According to multiple witnesses, he had spent a noticeable amount of time talking to the female victim. Some described it as friendly. Others said it felt very one-sided. One witness recalled Caleb lingering near them for most of the evening, jumping into conversations, asking questions, finding reasons to stay close, even when the couple tried to move on.
Okay.
Nothing extremely aggressive, nothing that would have raised alarm. It was just enough to stand out later that people thought he had kind of a overly eager interest.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when investigators looked into him further, that's when things got more interesting. Caleb's work had a reputation locally, not for being popular, but for being very unsettling. Several of his pieces featured staged scenes, objects arranged in deliberate ways, often leading the viewer's eyes from one focal point to another.
Oh, okay.
Paths, sequences, visual direction, visual misdirection.
Wow.
It wasn't identical to what was found at the ridge, but it was close enough to make investigators kind of move him to the top of the list.
Sure, plus the art supplies.
Exactly. Caleb had left the gallery around the same time as the couple. No one could say exactly where he went after that. When questioned, he said he went home, he was alone, worked late into the night, but there was no one who could confirm that.
Right.
So for investigators, it raised a new possibility. What if this wasn't random? What if someone had fixated on them earlier that night, followed them, watched them, and then recreated that in the woods,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So now you've got someone who interacted with them that night, someone
Right.
whose work literally involves staging and directing objects, and
Right.
someone who can't account for where they were.
Right.
I mean, again, is this coincidence, or does that start to feel like someone who saw them and didn't
All
want to...
three of them are very
move on.
coincidental. That's kind of weird.
Right? So in your mind right now, what are you thinking with that? Like,
Oh, I got to go with the artist because of the paint supplies and the, yeah, that's, I mean, all three of them look like they could be decent persons of interest, but he, I think, has the most circumstantial connections.
yes. Well, just so you know, the girl Alice was an artist as well.
Oh, okay. Well, that changes things.
Yes. So police later discovered that in the trunk of her car, she had art supplies.
Okay.
So they find later that
They were hers.
they were hers.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So a witness came forward with something that didn't quite fit what police were initially thinking.
Yeah.
Late that night, they reported seeing a light near the entrance to the ridge. Not headlights, not something steady, just kind of like a flickering. It was definitely, rapid
Like a flashlight?
strobing light, and they said that intermittently it would come on and off. It was very inconsistent, but it stayed steady in the same spot. Now, that area had construction equipment, temporary lighting, all kinds of things that could
Sure.
explain it, so investigators couldn't say for sure what it was. But the timing lined up, and it happened during the same window they believed the victims were approached.
Okay.
And if it was connected, it suggested something different. Not someone chasing them, not someone forcing them, someone approaching them.
Yeah.
Based on this person's testimony or, lead, based on this witness's lead, they think that it was possibly a flashlight
Yeah.
or lights on a car. And so now they're beginning to kind of change their theory here.
I wonder if the couple just went and parked there because it's kind of like a secluded area so they could, make out or do the dirty or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody happened to come across. I mean, it wouldn't be the
Right.
first time
Well,
that.
let me ask you this. If somebody pulled up next to you in a place like that late at night and they seemed like they had reason to be there, would you question it or would you just kind of go along with it?
Oh, yeah. Like if, for example, a security officer approached your window when you're
Mm-hmm.
out, making out in your car, you would roll the window down and talk to them at least because
Right.
you'd be like, oh, sorry, we'll leave or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Right. No, thanks. We've already got protection.
This is just a party for two. No menage a trois today.
Oh, man. So as time went on, the case didn't fall apart. It just went cold.
Yeah.
There was no DNA evidence, no real
They didn't find anything
lead
other than
to go towards any one person whatsoever. The leads did stop coming in. Detectives had to move on.
Yeah.
And witnesses started to drift away. And eventually it became one of those cases that just gets picked back up every few years.
Yeah, just
Looked at again, and then it's just set back down.
Yeah.
But here's the part that stuck with investigators. Somewhere in the original case file, there was a name that kept coming up. Not enough to build a case around, but enough that it never completely went away. In the mid to late 2000s, that same person was arrested in connection with a separate assault. He admitted to being there, but said it was consensual. The case did not go forward. He was acquitted, and there was no conviction. His DNA collected during that investigation never made it into the national database.
Oh.
That is the key detail, that sample just sat in a drawer, never went anywhere.
Yeah.
It just wasn't entered into the system
So they
that
weren't
would
able
have
to check
connected it to anything else. Exactly. So instead of being searchable, it just sat in a box, in a drawer, and the only thing that separated that sample from a match was the paperwork in that form, which was never completed.
Oh.
And because of that, no connection was ever made.
I don't think they keep your DNA on file unless you're convicted. Right? So that's why they didn't. Okay.
So by the end of the investigation, detectives had multiple theories.
Right.
Someone close to the scene, someone with possible motive, and someone who slipped through the system entirely. But none of that explained the one thing that kept coming up. No forced entry, no sign of panic, no struggle at the car, which means one thing. They didn't run. So the question is, why didn't they even try?
Yeah. How does one person subdue two people?
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, like you have a gun or something.
Right.
But
And because whoever approached that car didn't have to force them out, they were able to coax them out or get them to step out willingly.
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So again, we got to think about this.
Did the last guy that you were talking about have any connection to them? How was his name? How did he come up in the...
And I will say that name was one of the three people whom you've looked at.
Oh, okay. Now I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because out of the suspects,
So one of those three people had that happen to them in the past, or
yes.
Okay.
So again, you've got the woman who is a coworker or an employee of the guy's dad, of Adam's dad, and sorry, I didn't say his name at the beginning, but Adam and Alice, they were the victims.
Okay.
And his father's employee, you know, personal vendetta against him, possibly there. We have the security guard, and we have the other artist, right? And so those are, you got the three suspects, and I'll say that one of those
Has that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely that person. Just got to figure out which one it is. Okay.
And so it is your time to shine.
Well, I'm definitely not going with the girl, because when you were explaining the fourth thing about being accused of assault and being acquitted, you kept saying he. So I'm going to assume it's a man. So I am going to go with the least likely, which would be the security officer.
Ooh, that's a good guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We'll see if it's right or wrong.
It's right. It's so right. So, all right. Well, you guys send us your thoughts and guesses if you have any ideas of who you think it might be.
Yeah, let us know if you think Harley's right on this one, or if you think she's totally wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to start getting some feedback from listeners. If you guys would please leave us a review, rate it what you think it's worth, drop us something positive in the review comments. Follow us on our socials, Dead Giveaway Podcast across the board. And if you want to email us any suggestions, things that you like, things that you don't like, if you want to shoot a case our way, deadgiveawaypodcast@gmail.com.
Don't worry, I don't check the email. I won't see it.
Yeah, don't worry. She doesn't.
I do nothing except for sit here and show up.
Yeah. And you finally stopped whining about the one that you did do.
I know.
Because you're like, that was so long.
I
But
know.
you're finally, yeah.
My brain literally hurt after that.
All right, guys. And if you want to support the show, our Patreon is down there in the links as well. And we will see you on Thursday.
Bye. See you soon.